So right after Riverside officially announced that they were launching this new newsletter feature, I was scrolling through Riverside's Facebook group and I saw a question that made me change exactly how I wanted to address this new feature video. A person asked, so do I create a newsletter elsewhere and then just upload it into Riverside? And that's when it kind of hit me. A lot of people are completely misunderstanding what Riverside actually built here. First off, let me answer her question. No. You don't have to create the newsletter elsewhere and then upload it into Riverside. The newsletter itself is actually created right inside of Riverside. And I've been testing this newsletter now for the last few weeks, and today I just want to show you exactly what it is and how it actually works. And by the way, I've completely moved my entire newsletter from MailerLite to Riverside's newsletter. And not because it's already perfect or that it has more features, but because of what happens right after you hit send. And that completely changed how I thought about newsletters. And in this video, we're gonna walk you through the 3 specific ways that I'm actually using it right now. And one of those ways, it absolutely fixed a gap in my workflow that I didn't even know that I had. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what it is, and more importantly, if this is a good fit for your workflow. Now, before we jump into this video, I just want to be completely transparent. Riverside is not sponsoring this video, and nobody asked me to make it. I am part of Riverside's beta group, which means I do get early access to features just like this, and I get to test them out and provide my feedback to the Riverside team before they officially roll out. Now, I know you're already saying, I do have an affiliate link right down in my description, just like I do though for every other product that I personally use. But everything that I'm about to show you is based on my own experience using this newsletter. So now that I've got all of that formality out of the way, let's take a look at this newsletter. This is probably the most obvious use case, right? Let's say you just finished recording, editing, and publishing your last episode. Normally, your next step is opening another tool, staring at a blank page, and trying to figure out exactly what to write and send to your audience. Now, here's the best part. Riverside can actually generate a newsletter directly from your podcast episode. So let me jump in and show you what I mean. So we'll just use this one as an example that I made from my most recent episode. I'll show you exactly how to get started and what it looks like. So you click into New Post right up here. When you click in, it's going to ask you, would you like to write from scratch or generate it from a file? When you click Generate it from a file, it's actually pulling from your files that are archived right inside of Riverside. And that's one of the best parts about Riverside. You're not taking up any space on your hard drive. Everything's stored right in their server. So let me just go in and go into the project, and I want to go to episode 23. And this is the finalized episode. So when I click on it, it starts generating the episode for me. Now here's the thing. You see I have this image here. This is actually my thumbnail image right from the podcast. And to add that in, you just click up here, go to images, and select the file from your computer and add it right in. When you add it in, you can click and move it to anywhere in the newsletter that you would like. If you want to add dividers, which I've added here, you can go right up here, add your dividers. If you want to add a link, which I've added at the bottom here, which is the link directly to the podcast episode on Riverside, you can just go in and make it a clickable link. If you want to regenerate it, you're not real happy with how it turned out, you could do that. And it's really that simple. For quotes, you've got your quote bars. You can click right up here and add a quote bar. You can use it just like any other Word document. And it's really that simple. And here's the best part. You've got a full newsletter already made for you that you can send right out to all of your readers. Now, let me say this 100% right away. I would never recommend simply hitting publish on anything that's made by AI. You should absolutely read through it for accuracy or add your own thoughts. Adjust the wording to make sure that it sounds just like you. But for many creators, especially new creators, the hardest part is getting started. Staring at a blank page is completely intimidating. But having a draft that's already 90% complete is a huge advantage. Instead of spending hours trying to figure out exactly what to write, you're spending 5 to 10 minutes maybe just making it better and making it sound like you. And for busy creators, that's a pretty big deal, especially when you're doing it on your own. Now, I can already hear you typing in the comments, John, I could just copy the transcript into ChatGPT or Claude and have it write a newsletter and then paste that entire thing into the email platform that I'm already using. And you're absolutely right. You can. In fact, that's exactly what a lot of creators out there are doing already today. But for me, that's actually the missing point. The value isn't that Riverside can do something ChatGPT can't. The value is this: it removes steps. The transcript and episode are already there, and the newsletter draft is just one click away. You saw how quick that went in. Can I manually move all that information between multiple platforms? Sure. But when you start adding up all those little extra steps every single week, month after month, year after year, they all just start to add up, right? And for me, anything that removes friction from the creative process is worth paying attention to, because every extra step is just another opportunity to put something off until tomorrow. And honestly, that's the entire reason that I created this channel and the Amplify system in the first place. I'm constantly looking for ways that remove stress and friction and all the overwhelm from the creator process. Not because creators are lazy or that they can't figure it out, right? But because the more moving parts that you already have, the harder it becomes to stay consistent. I'm going to be honest, my newsletter had completely dried up. I hadn't sent one probably for a few months. Then Riverside launched this thing. I can't stop using it because every time I make a piece of content in Riverside, it's so simple. And in my experience, me personally and all the clients that I work for, consistency is key. And it completely beats complexity every single time. That's what I love about what Riverside is building. It's not doing something revolutionary. It's simply removing a few more steps between creating content and getting it in front of your audience. That's it. Now let's step into this a little bit further. I just hinted on this a little bit ago, because it's not only for podcast episode newsletters. You can create and send out newsletters about anything related to your audience. So let's create a completely custom newsletter, a motivational message that I kind of just want to send out, okay? I want to share this with my audience. It's not part of the episode. It's just content that I want to write and send out to my audience. So let's jump back into the back end of the newsletter portion, and I'm going to hit create new post. But this time, I'm going to click write from scratch. Now, remember that blank page that I was talking about earlier? Here you go. And it already breaks it down for you. So what do you want the title of your post to be? So let me go ahead and put in my title. Now I'll add the subtitle. And then here is where you're going to start writing. Now, next, I want to put in a little quote that I use. So I'm going to put in my quote. I already use quotation marks, but I kind of like the quote bar that they use. And for consistency, I'm going to add one myself. So I click at the beginning of my quote and I put in my quote bar. This way, all of my newsletters look consistent across the board, whether they're about a podcast episode or just one that I send out on my own. So let me go ahead and not waste your time. I'm going to finish filling out the newsletter. Okay, so I filled out the rest of the newsletter. I added another quote. Now at the end, I want to put to my main website, myliving95.com. Since this one is a motivational newsletter, let me go ahead and add my link in. Actually, I want to say learn more about Living 95 here. Okay, so I've added learn more about Living 95 here and my website. Now, I want to add an image also into this one. So I'm just going to go to my image and I'm going to bring in one that I've got. Okay, so I've added my image in, the productivity trap. Here's my subtitle. And it looks very consistent to all of my other newsletters that I've sent out that are podcast general. And this is just a motivational email. I can either schedule the email to go out at a later date, or I can hit publish and send it out right now to all of my subscribers. You can also, early on, if you just want to see what the email is going to look like, You can send a test email to yourself ahead of time, but I'm going to go ahead and just hit publish. And it's going to say, are you sure you want to send this post now? It will be delivered to all of your active subscribers. If you hit send now, it's going to go ahead and send it right out. Now, once you send it, it's going to go right into your backend, showing that it's sent, today's date. And of course, since I just sent it, nobody has opened it yet. It'll give you your percentage, just like the rest of them here. Now, you can definitely write it anywhere else, paste it in, use ChatGPT or Claude to help you write it, whatever you'd like to do, just like any other document. Now, the thing is this, you can use this newsletter for podcast updates, business announcements, weekly motivation, educational content, behind the scenes content, community updates, really anything that you want that you need to communicate to your audience. This newsletter doesn't have to start with a podcast episode. Now let me show you my favorite part. And honestly, I think this is the feature that most people are overlooking. Every newsletter that you send, it doesn't just disappear into somebody's inbox. It also lives right here on your podcast website that Riverside already created for you as part of your newsletter archive. If you're familiar with Substack, you'll immediately understand why this is so exciting. Every newsletter, it becomes part of a growing library of content that people can discover long after you hit send. For me, that's incredibly valuable because you're not just building an email list, you're building a library of content. And if you're already creating content every single week, why wouldn't you want that content to continue to work for you? Now, here's what I love most about this newsletter. It lowers the barrier to entry. A lot of creators know that they should probably start a newsletter. They just never get around to it because they know that it means another platform, another login, another monthly subscription, and another thing to learn. Riverside's newsletter makes getting started so much easier, especially if you're already using Riverside for recording, editing, hosting, and publishing your podcast. And while this is still a very new feature, I'm sure it's going to continue to grow over time. And I think this already has so much potential behind it. So those are the 3 ways that I'm currently using Riverside's newsletter. Number 1, turning podcast episodes into newsletters. Number 2, creating completely original newsletters from scratch. And number 3, building a content archive that continues working long after your email is sent. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Are you excited for Riverside's new newsletter feature? Are you currently using a different newsletter provider and maybe considering switching? Or tell me what you love about the one you're already using. Let me know down in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And you can also check out my full Riverside course that I'm building right here. And as always, stay healthy, stay balanced, and keep driving forward. I'll see you next time.